Thousands gathered in Alabama to mark the 61st anniversary of Bloody Sunday and to honor the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. On March 7th, 1965, peaceful protesters marching from Selma to Montgomery were beaten by Alabama state troopers. The event became a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement and spurred the passage of the Voting Rights Act. One of the marchers that day was a young Jesse Jackson. Today's memorial paid special tribute to Jackson's years of service.
Even when Parkinson's and progressive supranuclear palsy quieted his voice, he was still big.
Among those attending today's tribute, Governor J.B. Pritzker and the Reverend Al Sharpton.
What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. This video is in response to the Somalians who went to Selma, Alabama from Minnesota to march. Now, I know most of you think y'all know what I'm going to say, but y'all probably going to be wrong on this one. Because specifically, the Somalis, all right? Now, the Somalis are a special group of Africans who have been separated from the greater African community in America and sent to Minnesota with a bunch of white folk. And they don't really have a relationship with African Americans or the greater African diaspora in America. They are known for telling us that we're slaves and they're not black because they're more Arab adjacent. This is true. They're also very prideful in their rhetoric towards African Americans, as they most definitely view themselves as superior to us. And this is what I do know. I know that there are different types of Somalis, right? You got black Somalis who are very black. They know they're black. And you got those Arab ones. There's different clans of Somalis. And some are more Arab adjacent than others, right? But, you know, in general, overall, Somalis have been very hostile to African Americans. They're not only hostile to African Americans, I happen to know that they're hostile to most West Africans in general, right? But they definitely are very hostile to African Americans. Now, at this point in time, for the Somalis to go down there to Selma from Minnesota and to use the Selma protest of my ancestors, my West African ancestors, my African American ancestors, who strategically shed blood for the world. You got to understand, those African Americans who went down there and shed blood for the benefit of the world, okay? I feel like you guys have disrespected them by going down there and walking on the streets paved in the blood of my ancestors, after, as a community in general, fighting against us, who told you that our ancestors fought so that you can have a life in this country, in America, only for you to shit on us continuously. I find it very offensive that you use the Selma anniversary in March to go down there and present yourself on those streets and to cosplay a protest. It's very disrespectful, okay? And I saw the Latinos out there too. I saw everybody out there who, despite my African American ancestors, who bled, who had dogs sicked on them, who had water holes sprayed on them, who had to endure getting beat by this inferior savage, just so the world can see how barbaric Neanderthals are in real life, because that was the point. The violence was the point. The point of that protest was to show the entire world on TV, when TV was brand new, that these savage barbarians are in fact savage barbarians, and that the supposed dangerous, savage African can be peaceful and have decorum under immense pressure. You can't imagine what it's like knowing you can whoop their ass and letting them whoop your ass with batons, water hoses, getting called names, and you gotta just stand there and march. Those were the toughest motherfuckers Africa has ever produced. Those were the hardest, good morning, those were the hardest Africans Africa has ever produced. Echo. And for you to walk on the same street as them after disrespecting their descendants is an abomination. That's just how I feel about it. Specifically the Somalis. It's an abomination. It's disrespectful because you shit on them every time you disrespect an African American. You've been shitting on the the Africans who marched on Selma every day with your rhetoric. You say we don't know our fathers. Those were our fathers. That's what you need to understand. Those were our fathers who you just disrespected by pretending to march and pretending to have solidarity with them. Just now, after we told you, we've been telling you for years as you've been spitting in our face just like those white people back then. As you've been beating us with your batons of rhetoric just like those white people over there. As you've been siding with the same white demon, the descendants of those same white piece of shit demons that was beating us back then. Those are your allies. And you put Donald Trump in the White House. You made sure, and you were proud, and your chest was out when you said you wasn't about to vote for that Kamala Harris. You was going to vote for that white man who currently right now is letting you know what he thinks of you. You see, y'all wasn't doing that shit before y'all got y'all little rights taken away. Those rights that were manifested off the backs of those black African Americans who marched and bled for your right to be over here, just for you to come over here and shit in their face. And now you want to march. Selma is not the place for you to march. Your feet shouldn't touch those roads paved in the blood of my ancestors. You people, including you Latino people, cannot continue to use the foundation of revolution that we African Americans use to bolster your revolution. That's what we African Americans are tired of. I'm not talking about FBA. I'm talking about real African Americans. I'm not talking about FBA. You guys can't continue to use what we've built to try to build something on top of it. Because what that tells me is you know that we are the foundation of these revolutions, and you don't give a fuck until it's time for you to benefit. But when it's time for war, you're not there. African Americans stand on the battlefield every goddamn day and face the enemy. An enemy with overwhelming military power. And we win, we fight, we sacrifice. And you guys always show up late to the goddamn battle after the shit's already said and done and stand there with your shiny fucking armor and act like you did some shit. And then you want to go celebrate and drink and say, yeah, we won the battle, when you ain't do shit. And then when we tired and weary and we need food and we need help and we need shelter, you motherfuckers are never there to help us. But now that you getting hit in your villages, now that you getting hit, now all of a sudden, good morning, now all of a sudden you want to fucking go out there and get on the battlefield. The battle's over. We already bled and died for it. You already benefited from it. Every Minnesotan black person benefits from the men and women, my ancestors who fought and died. And that was just one place. That was one of many. All of a sudden, you guys want to learn about African American history. Now that you guys are being affected because you put in place the monsters that we have been defeating over and over again. You put in place those guys. You fought against us when we was continuing the generational battle to defeat people like Donald Trump. And you, with your smiles, with your Arab worship, you put him in office. And now you want to complain. It's not like he was lying. He told you what he was going to do. Never once did he say that you Somalis meant anything to him. Never once. But you got, I don't know who convinced you. Your imams? Huh? They convinced you that we have no culture? Now you want to participate in African American culture? African American culture is a culture of protest. It's a culture of survival with the most evil, savage barbarian the world has ever created. That's our culture. We fight. We are warriors. That's our culture. Now you want to participate in our culture? No. No. I don't think so. That protest meant nothing. What you need to do, if you are earnest about changing your ways, if you are earnest, what you're going to do is you're going to go back to Minnesota and you're going to protest in the Minnesota streets. You're going to protest in your places of worship. If you really a black Somalian, you're going to go protest them other clans that tell you Arab. You're going to protest your community who disrespect African Americans. That's what you're going to protest. Spill some blood with your own people. Spill some blood within you and fight the demons, the Arabism within you and be black. Fight that. Let me see some blood spilled on the streets of Minnesota between Somalis, the Arabs and the blacks. Let me see the blacks win that battle. And you Latinos, same with you. Go back into your houses and fight the battle of your communities trying to whiten up the race. Fight the battles of those Latinos trying to be white while practicing black culture, especially you West Coast Spanish people. All y'all doing is cosplaying black culture while disrespecting black people and wanting to be white. Y'all take that protest back to your communities and spill blood for your Afro indigenous population. Spill blood for the African members of your community. Go back to Central and South America and spill blood from your main community who disrespect and disenfranchise your African members who gave you the culture that you guys are so proud of. Your bachata, your merengue, your salsa, all your Latin food that got seasoning, all that shit. Go back to your goddamn Latino countries and get rid of the racism within your racial ethnic groups and then come back and we can talk about it. I'm tired of you Latinos and you Somalis thinking that you can close the door and be disrespectful and disenfranchise your own black people in your communities and disrespect and disenfranchise the black people within your countries and think you can come here and get on the backs of my African ancestors who fought for your right to even be here in the first place. You must be out of your mind. We're not doing that. And I'm a Pan-African. I'm black first. So until you Latinos fix the racism within your communities, you can't march with us no more. Until the black people, the Afro-Latino people tell us that the racial issues have been fixed in your communities, you can't march with us no more. Until the Somalis has defeated their Arab worship, you can't march with us no more. We done with that shit. We've been fighting for centuries, and we be damned. The people that we fought, bled, and died for, who came over here, who've been disrespecting us, gonna get on the backs, gonna get on the battlefield after the blood has been spilled, and to pretend like you won some shit. We're not having that. And like I said, I know there's some Somalis that's pro-black. Where you take that pro-blackness and you turn that shit around, you aim all your fury at your kinsmen. You protest them, the ones that look like you, they don't think they're you. You protest them. You go fight them. You go march up and down those hostile ass freaking Somali streets where the rich ones at. You go protest there. Let them beat you. Let them spray you with water hoses. Let them sick the dogs on you. Let me see some pain and some suffering and some tears. Let me see that shit. And then you can come march with us. You don't qualify. We got more white Jews that was riding with us than the rest of you. We had white Jews getting on them buses coming down with us. Fighting and dying and bleeding. You see, they can march with us. Some of them can march with us. We got issues with some of them. But we don't got issues with other than them. We know who was with us. We know who was fighting with us. Some of them light-skinned white folk was fighting with us, dying with us. We know that. So we can understand some of them. But you, no, buddy. No. And we know some of our West Africans was with us too. I know FBA don't know that. But African Americans know. We had Nigerians and Ghanaians fighting with us. We had them in them marches too. Y'all don't know that, do y'all? We was all fighting together. You see, the civil rights movement is the one that instigated all this shit. The Black Power movement on the planet started with us. And we was all fighting together. We was all getting together. All the heads of the leaders were getting together. The African ones, the Brazilian ones, the Caribbean ones, the African American ones. They was all getting together in small rooms, coordinating how they gonna do this shit. We know who was fighting with us. We know who can come out and protest with us. And we know who wasn't there. And we know who benefited. So I'll be damned if you think afterwards you can come out, like I said, after the blood has been spilt, after the battle has been fought, after the bodies have decayed on the streets, you think you can come out with your shiny armor and act like you're part of the fight. I don't think so. Nope. We need to see you spill blood on behalf of black folks in your own communities first. Then we can talk. You got to prove it. It's show and tell season now. We don't got time for the fakers, for the performances. We done with performances. We done with even those other white folks out there with the drums and shit, beating like they protesting, ain't shit happening. When it was time to vote, you weren't there. When it was time to stop all this shit, you weren't there. And we was voting for you. We was thinking about all of you, you Latinos, you Somalis, you Indians, you Asians. We was thinking about all of you when we vote. You see, we empathetic. We care about you. It's you who don't have empathy. It's you who don't care until shit happened to you. You see, we didn't need shit happen to us to go out there and protest for you. We see what's happening to you, and we're empathetic about it, and we want to go out and do something about it. That's the difference between us and you. We are human, and we display human characteristics. You guys are opportunists, and you only care when shit happens to you. That's not earnest. So no. Your Selma protest is null and void. We don't care. Leave Selma. Go up to Minnesota. Protest there. You Latinos, go to Central and South America. Go back to California and Mexico and protest in your communities first. And when we see the change in your communities, and like I said, when we see the Afro Latinos let African Americans know that the community has changed, then we can communicate. Then we can talk. Then we can kumbaya. But until then, it ain't fucking happening. And you Somalis, until your arrogance that you have, which I don't even understand where the arrogance comes from, be honest, because y'all don't even have a fucking foundation of arrogance to even stand on. When the arrogance is killed, when you kill that arrogance, when I see the blood of the Somali arrogance spilled on the ground, then you can come talk to us. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comment section. This Afro think tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out. Also, and we don't care that there were African-American churches out there helping and facilitating you. They gonna do that. That's the nature of African-Americans. We empathetic, so they get a pass, but you don't.
I know my people are gonna get so mad at me with this video, but just know I understand how y'all feel, because I'm black, so I understand. But when I saw that Somali march in Selma, I found it so hilarious. They were serious. I'm sorry. I just thought it was the funniest thing I saw in a while. Now, I know my people going to be mad at me because it is disrespectful, y'all. I know that. It is. But you got to admit, they were so damn serious. It was hilarious. And to think the very people they hate, they try to imitate everything we do. Now, that's pitiful. Oh, and one more thing. We would have been out there to help y'all, but we too busy trying to find out who our daddies are. Keep up the good work, y'all. I needed that laugh.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan. Boycott diamonds and gold. We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.